go to do you go to a lot of do you go to a lot of meetings? Yeah. I think nowadays it's more than ever. We're just meetings. I actually got really good at doodling from going to all these meetings. But then I started doing some maths, probably at a meeting, and worked out that there's a real cost to meetings. So think about your meetings. Now, what I want to do is play along with this. How many meetings do you go to a week? Say you go to, one a day or two a day, which is quite common. You're going from anywhere from 5 meetings to 10 meetings. A lot of people exceed this, a lot of people have less than this, but I'm going to say on average 5 to 10 meetings is what people go to a week. All right, how long are these meetings? Again, you could have longer meetings, shorter meetings, but I find that most meetings are booked out for an hour because it's out of convenience. Maybe 2 hours, I don't know. Some people could have longer meetings. Again, use your own numbers there. Next one is how many peeps are at these meetings? So peeps is the technical word for people. Make sure you repeat that to everyone else. You'll look very intelligent. You could have 5 people. You could have 10 people. Again. Now, per week, this is your spend on meetings. So if you multiply your actual numbers, you'll actually get your spend on meetings. So here we've got 25 hours of meetings per week, and here we've got 200 hours of meetings per week. Cool. Now, give these people some form of remuneration, because that's the nice thing to do. And, we could start at $20 and we could go to $100 per hour. Again, your maths is going to be different to mine. So here we've got 500, and here we've got 200 plus the 100. All right. So our cost per week for meetings could range substantially. All right. And what we have here is we have the only one side of the equation, take into account, I'm not trying to scare you off meetings, we have the cost per week that our organisation is paying in wages for people to go to meetings, which doesn't look too excessive unless you're on this side, and this could be a conservative estimate. Your numbers may reflect that this is quite low. When we look at this and we say, well, hang on, we're doing this every week. So if we multiply that by, again, I'm just using an arbitrary 50 weeks in a year number. Here we've got $25,000 for this model. And here we've got, I'm just going to say $1 million because that sounds more legit. Here we've got $1 million cost of meetings per year. That's a lot. That's a lot. Again, as I said before, when you calculate the time that went to communications, how do we budget for this? How do we factor for it? All right. The other thing is, how can we reduce it? So now, we need to be careful of value here because as I go through, value equals benefits over costs. So this is the cost side of the equation. So what we want to do is we want to try and focus on this and reduce it without reducing that. And sometimes that's possible. So let's go through. Could we have less meetings per week? And think about the benefits. Would we lose anything if we had 3 meetings instead of 5? Maybe not. Cool. What about if instead of going for an hour, they went for half an hour? Because we find that most of it is just talk, it's just rubbish. So if we can reduce it by half, would that help us out? Maybe. Would we lose any benefits? Maybe not. Great, let's do it. Do all of those people need to be at the meeting? Do we need all those 5 people? Can we get away with just the 3 key people that need to make the decisions? And that could change each week. Yeah, I guess. Okay. And here you can multiply that. So I'm not really sure what I've got so far. It's hard to see, but you multiply that and you get a number. Right? And that's the hours that you're going to spend. Oh, here we go, 4.5. That's the hours that you're going to spend per week on meetings. I've done a few changes and I've changed that dramatically. Right? So now, instead of multiply it by your $20 an hour, Instead of this, you're only really paying 20 times 4.5. What do you got, kids? You're only really paying $90 rather than that $500 that you were paying before. That's a big difference, especially when you multiply that by your 50 weeks in a year. Now you're only paying $4,500 as opposed to $25,000. Look, the maths may be a bit dodgy what I've done because I've been doing it on the fly. It's actually quite hard to see that way. But put your own numbers into effect and then try and see what you can actually trim in your meetings. Again, consider the benefits as well, because the benefits remain the same, the costs go down, your value equation goes up.